On today's show, we interview the Domino's Pizza King. That's right, folks. We interview the Prince of Pizzas and the Domino's dominant franchisee, Eddie Hall, as he shares with you how he built a $20 million pizza business, one pizza at a time. On today's show, Eddie Hall shares with you his path to building a $20 million pizza franchise business and a commercial real estate empire, and how it all started by getting a job working at Domino's at the age of 18. He shares with you the importance of knowing your numbers, of having a calendar, having a to-do list, and just implementing the proven systems that work. If you want to own luxury cars and you want to live a life of phenomenal ends and means, this is the show for you. Because Eddie Hall is dropping knowledge bombs like we've got a radar lock on an old school sedan.
Attention entrepreneurial students, this is not a test. This is a real knowledge bombing. A total carpet bombing. Complete knowledge bombing. This is not a test. Please report to the lab with a pin in the past where you can hide from the truth.
3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrivetime Show.
Thrivetime Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic boom.
Yes, yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, this is the most excited I have been to do an interview, and I'm going to go with in a year. A year. I'm going to say a year. Wes, I'm going on the record. This is the most excited I've been in about a year.
That's pretty impressive. Whoa.
We interviewed Sharon Lecter, who wrote the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. That was good. That was good. But this is so practical. So if you're listening right now today and you need tactical, practical skills to pay the bills, if you want to create time freedom, I want you to do is I want you to turn to the person next to you in the car who's listening right now with you and kind of go, shh, 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 shh. I want you to just shh, shh. Whenever you shush somebody, you feel bad. So let me shush them for you. You just look at them and I'll shush them. Shh. Then I need you to pull over maybe, get out a pen and pad, because we are going to enter into the dojo of Mojo Fo Show. On today's show, we have the super successful Domino's Pizza franchise owner, Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I am excited that you are here, and I'm sorry I misplaced the microphone, but it's closer to you now. Are you feeling good today?
Yeah, I'm short. Sorry.
Okay. Now you started your career with Domino's, I believe, in 1999. Is that correct?
I started in 92.
92.
First franchise in 99. Yeah.
How old were you in 92?
92, I was 18.
18?
Yep.
And how did you get the money to start this first franchise?
So first franchise in 99, I was actually 25.
25.
So, yeah, to get that money, I actually partnered up with another supervisor that I was working with in Dallas.
Yeah.
And his dad had $100,000 working capital to invest in us, and then we took our savings that we had over the 7 years that I worked at Domino's in Dallas.
Did you start off as a driver, Domino's driver?
I actually started, so 95% of franchisees start as a driver. I actually started my first day as a manager in training, but did the first 4 weeks of delivering pizzas. So
Go back,
yes and no.
Go back,
That's
if you
awesome.
can, mentally back to the age of 18. Where was this Domino's located?
It was in Richardson, Texas.
Richardson, Texas.
Yep.
How many people were working in the store?
So this store wasn't a super high volume store. There was probably about 15
Employees?
employees, yeah.
The 18-year-old version of yourself. Being just totally transparent here. Were you an idiot at the age of 18?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You were an
I was a punk kid.
A punk.
Idiot, yeah.
Yeah. And then when did you realize, wow, I can escape the dark pole of jackassery and not be an idiot? When did you have that first thought?
So working in the stores,
Yep.
I was still that punk kid for probably about 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
I was pretty mature at the time. I had left my wife in El Paso when I knew I wanted to become a manager. I was going to come out there, work hard, become a manager, then move back and marry her and move her to Dallas.
Got it.
So I worked up pretty hard. It was my supervisor came in one day and said, "You can't be these people's friends anymore. You got to be a leader."
Come on.
And
so you were, and how old were you at that time when he had that conversation with you?
I was probably 18 and a half, almost 19.
Okay, and so you remember it though?
Oh, 100%.
What was his name?
Mark Frisbee. It's my mentor.
Do you think that Mark Frisbee changed your life?
Definitely 100%. Yeah.
Is he alive?
He is.
And where does he live?
He's in McKinney, Texas.
If you're out there today and you live in the McKinney, Texas area, and you see a Mark Frisbee, tell him he changed somebody's life. I'm telling you, this is so powerful. Some people say, Clay, who were your mentors, or who was your mentor? I'm a guy who I really, really like to read books from people that have figured it out. So wherever I'm stuck, I just read a book, or I'll relentlessly harass people. But I've had so many great mentors, and I'm just telling you, when you have somebody that unlocks your success, it's just powerful when somebody points you in the right direction. So he kind of straightened you out.
For sure, and I still talk to him today. In fact, I talked to him on Thursday. I'll call him and I'll fill up a notebook full of notes, just kind of old school stuff. I just love talking to him.
What kind of morons were you hanging out with? I mean, I'm not asking you to name specific names, but what kind of jackassery were these people involved in where you said, you just can't be around it anymore?
You name it. You name it, we were doing it. I mean, just, again, I was a little bit more mature. I already had a wife and kid, and so at a young age. So I kind of had to provide for them.
Got it.
But yeah, the friends at that age are always wanting to party and drink and go out and all that kind of stuff. I just wasn't doing that.
So then you got it together. And how old were you where you had the money from your friend's dad? He invested in you and the money you had saved. How old were you when you pulled the trigger and bought that first one?
25.
25?
Yep.
How much money did you save in your bank account on your own during those 7 years?
It wasn't a lot. We started off with about 15 grand.
15 grand
of my own money. Yeah.
15 grand saved over about 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Working at Domino's.
Yep.
The first store, when you've got that first store of your own, do you remember that store?
And it was actually 4 stores. We bought 4 at the same time.
Do you remember all 4 of those stores?
Yeah, they were here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes.
Where were they?
71st in Sheridan.
Yeah.
26th in Harvard.
Yep.
Gilcrease and Edison.
Yep.
And 91st in Delaware.
Let's talk about it. Making pizzas. We make pizzas. People eat pizzas. People want pizzas. You sell pizzas. People spiritualize success. They always come to me all the time. I get frustrated. If you're listening out there today and you attend church, please understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. If you sow seeds and you water the seeds, and you live in an area where the temperature's the right type of temperature, the soil's the right kind of soil, you can grow corn. You can. Heathens can grow corn. Christians can grow corn. Atheists are growing corn. On the Forbes billionaire list right now, there are so many really awful people who are on the list, and great people. There's so many great people and bad people. Money just magnifies. But when you say that because you believe in the Bible that God's going to bless your business, that's not the case if people don't want the crap you're selling. So turns out people in America want pizza. And I don't know if you've spiritualized this idea, but people want pizza, and pizza that tastes good. And people I know eat Domino's pizza because they like the pizza. But there's so many people running around like, what's my niche? I don't know my niche. I don't know how can I find my niche? And I'm going, hey, listen, I say this all the time. That's why I'm so excited to interview. I say, if you don't know what you want to do, sell freaking pizza.
Yeah.
And they go, what? And I go, listen, Americans want to gain weight. We want to gain weight. We want to eat the carbs. We know we should be carb free, but we don't care. We want pizza.
Pizza and tacos.
Pizza, yeah. We're taking the kids home from soccer practice, and we're all going, do you guys want to get some pizza or pizza? Every time. Dad, didn't you just start Jenny Craig last week? Oh, yeah, but let's get some pizza. I mean, that's what we're doing. So help somebody out there who maybe is adverse to franchising because they say, but I don't like pizza, or I'm not a big fan of carpet cleaning. Because I know so many people are making tons of money in franchising, cleaning carpets, who don't even like carpet, who don't even have carpet in their house. Talk to help somebody out there that's stuck on that idea.
So I actually, probably about 5 years into my career, I decided that I wanted to do my own pizza place. And I was like, man, I want to open my own pizza place. I started looking at the costs and marketing and all that kind of stuff. And I said, you know what? Kind of slapped myself in the face. And I said, why don't I do what I know and open a Domino's Pizza and franchise? And so that's when I started pursuing that. I mean, the thing about a franchisor or the franchise system is that everything if it's a good one, everything is provided for you. You don't have to figure all that stuff out. When I went to my first training class at Domino's as a franchisee, they said, you're a pizza maker. You hire a lawyer, you hire a marketing person, you let us figure out the systems, and you just go make pizzas and make a lot of money.
Oh, yes.
And so that's a big deal in the franchise system, is hopefully that stuff's already put together for you.
I love this. And Josh and I were talking the other day. We had a great, I don't know if Josh, if you picked up on this, if you thought, what you said was super deep, but you might not have felt it. Josh, you said, well, Clay, as it relates to business, I know you know what you're doing. So if you say to do it, I'm just going to do it. The rest of life, I'm not going to ask you for tips on necessarily, but business, and that's what a franchise is. You buy a system that works and you work the system. But Josh, can you explain this? Because you own your own company and you come to us not for life advice, but for specifically, how do I grow a business?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain that coachable mindset? Because somebody out there has just got to get that in their cranium.
Well, I think for a lot of our listeners out there, a lot of other people, not our listeners, but like other people that listen to other shows in North Korea, think that they have all the answers already, or think that they're mapping to a goal of being a millionaire. You know, everybody says, I'm going to make $1 million by the time I'm 30, but their actions map to the club at Friday night at 2 o'clock in the morning. So what I would say in that is, find somebody who's been there, somebody who's done it, somebody like Eddie or somebody like Steve Currington or Clay or Wes or whomever. Find somebody who's already been to the mountaintop, who's already gotten to where you want to be, and then just shut up and listen to them. You know, I get a chance to talk to some people, and I just say, I told you when we were talking about that the other day, I was talking to a young man that we get to speak to, and I said, you know, when I sit in the room with Clay, he gives me 3 things to do, and I walk away and I do those 3 things. I've never said, well, Clay, I just don't think that's going to work in my business. Hey, I really don't think you know what you're talking about.
And real quick, I want to make sure listeners understand this. I cite everything I say in the meeting, so I'm always going to pull up a case study or a stat or a fact. I'm never like, I think this might work. You know, like when you wanted to name your company Living Water, I was not present at that meeting.
No, sir.
And if you would have said, how should I name my company? I'd say, name it something memorable. And you might say Living Water. And I would say to you then, okay, you're going to irritate people that are not Christians probably, and you're going to win over Christians. Are you okay with that? Cool, move on. But again, Reid Hoffman, who couldn't be here today because he's kind of a big deal. Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, says, the fastest way to change yourself is to hang out with people who are already the way you want to be. Sounds like Josh Wilson. Wes, people such as myself hire you for legal advice. What happens when someone hires you for legal advice and does the opposite of it? I refer to these people as ask holes. They ask a question, and then they take the knowledge and dump it into a hole.
You have to make sure you pause on that K.
Ask hole.
Well, I mean, personally, it's annoying. It's just, it's hard to understand. And you're going to pay me
Why are you calling me?
$350 an hour to give you the right answer, and then you're going to go do the exact opposite. So you're going to pay me $350 either way. You're probably going to end up paying me more because now you're going to screw it up because you're not listening. So if you don't think I have the answer, don't hire me. And if you're going to ignore everything that I tell you as far as the right way to handle a situation, and again, I'm not going to give you advice on things I don't know about. You come to me for my legal advice. Some people just, they think they have a better way, or they think that they're going to be unique, and the 900 cases before them don't apply. That they're going to be they're in a unique position, and they're going to reinvent something. I'm
going to Mars.
That's going to change.
I'm going to live there and sell
the
pizza.
The entire world is going to bow down when they come out with this grand idea. So, I think people do that in the business world too. Though they don't want to take an established, proven system or a product. They want to be unique. They want to find a unicorn. They want to do something special. And I think that it leads a lot of people to poverty.
Now, doing something special. Eddie, you drive special cars, I think.
I think so, yeah.
What are some of the cars you have that are special? Because, again, someone might say, you're not special because you're just selling pizzas. So, people like to minimize franchisees. I see this all the time.
Yeah.
Do you ever had this happen to you where people who, are creative, highbrow, educated people, they're like, oh, you just sell freaking pizza, right? I mean, do you drive special cars?
I do.
What are some special cars?
Yeah, I have a GT3 RS. I have a Porsche Turbo. I have an 81 wide body that we just finished.
Those are special cars.
Pretty special, yeah.
But what happens is somebody could be out there trying to come up with that special, unique business model that never works, and then they get to live a special way called homelessness.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a pizza/latte store.
Ooh.
slash neon sign
with local art that we sell on the side.
That's you see this all the time, and then you know your life is really falling off the wagon when you independently sell pinion wood 2 to 5 days a week. You know that's when the life is falling off the wagon. Have you seen these stores where they're open 2 to 5 days a week? They have little signs up that say we might be open or might not. You know,
might have wood.
Might have wood. There it is. Okay, so now you got the funding. You put in your money,
yes,
as well as this other gentleman's money. How did you guys split profits? Did you agree 50-50? Was it 30-30 for 30?
Yeah. So we structured the company. There always has to be a 51% franchisee in the franchise system. Yeah. So. Mike Higgins, which was my partner, he took on the 51%, and then me and his dad split the rest. But we did a 50-50 split on the profits. I was the operational guy in the system, so I kind of ran the operations when we first came out here. We were also in the middle of a sale, so we flipped those stores really quick. We bought them in August 99, flipped them in January of 2000, so there wasn't a whole lot to do when we first took them over. It was after that when I stayed on with that guy that we did more here in the Tulsa area.
Now, Dr. Z is not involved in franchising. He always says you have to have a 51% partner or he won't get into the business. Why do they require a 51% partner in the world of franchising?
Well, in Domino's case, it's so they can protect the brand.
Yep.
They got to make sure that somebody's in charge, somebody's making the decisions, and somebody's working the business. In fact, Domino's doesn't even allow you to do other businesses. So
Sweet.
You can't be a Domino's franchisee and own a Burger King.
How many Domino's do you have now? How many do you own?
We have 17 with 3 more on the way.
17 with 3 more on the way?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want to tell me, it's fine, but I want to know. And I'm going to ask you, and if you say no, I'll just come back again in a different way. I'm just kidding. For elephant in the room, when someone cuts their hair, when we cut someone's hair, well, the average ticket price is $42, and we're going to make about a 20% margin as a company, about $8.50 per cut average. I pay myself 2 of those dollars. When I get a pizza at Domino's, which we've done, I get a pizza at Domino's and we get a extra large or something, and say it's about $20 for an extra large ish.
Sure. Yeah. Close enough.
There are socialists that peak on this show sometimes. There's people out there that are, Steve, there are people who are not.
They don't stay very long.
They're in the Edmonton region up there, and they're right now laying on the railroad tracks, blocking shipments up there in Canada.
Is this question ethical?
They're in Skid Row out there in L.A. They're living in their mom's basement. They're at the medical marijuana store where the only thing they need pot for is not medical reasons. They're there, and they're going. He's going to ask, isn't he? Do you make a profit?
Yes, we do.
Okay, the cat's out of the bag. Now, do you guys try to stick in the 10%, 20% range? Is there a certain range, 40%? What do you do?
We run about 15%.
15%?
Yeah, and each store is different. I mean, my higher volume stores, of course, with great operations, can run up to 25% cash flow, EBITDA.
So, again, let's talk about this. So, if I buy a pizza for $20, you are getting, if the pizza's good, I'm happy, I'd pay, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You're going to make about $3.
Yep.
You got to sell a lot of $3 to make a lot of money, don't you?
A lot of them, yep.
How many pizzas do you sell in a month?
Well, we'll do about $20 million this year in sales out of
Did you say stores. 20 million?
20 million, yeah.
Of pizzas?
Yep.
That's a lot of Domino's.
Simple math seems like that's about 1 million pizzas.
I feel like
that's a lot of pizza.
I feel like Bernie Sanders is mad right now because Bernie wants people to be able to make money selling feelings.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were born here, he wants to be able to monetize the fact that, like, I'm somebody too, or I have a degree. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make sure you get this. If you want to make millions, sell pizza, because Americans want to get fat. Write that down. Now, this is another deep thought, another tip for you. Years ago, I worked with a fitness company, and they used to send people text messages that would remind you to say, and they never sent it to you, Eddie, by the way, but they would send it to people, and they'd say, Eddie, you haven't been here in like 2 days, because they have a swipe card, and they know if you've been to work out or not. And they send you a text that says, we haven't seen you in 2 days. Come see us at the Yada Yada gym. And I told my client, I said, listen, I've worked with major big box gyms now on 4 occasions. Do not do that. I'm like, no, we want to do it. I'm like, listen, I'm telling you this. If you send people text message reminders, they will cancel as a way to say thank you. And seriously, But people want to have pizza parties at the gym where it's judgment free. Yeah. So you need to put fit people on the billboards, serve pizza in the gym. That's a move.
I was gonna say the texts work for pizza.
Oh my gosh. So again,
you haven't ordered today.
So again, but in the franchise world, the text message, it texts you something like, "Are you hungry?" or something. And when in your office, I'm sure you're the one who does this. You are fattening my office up, which is good because winter's coming. But you send a text, I believe you do, or someone does, and it works. And it says something like, "Are you hungry?" And all of a sudden I see Domino's boxes appearing around my office. Do you do that?
I don't personally send those out, but they go out from our system, yeah. With a special or a coupon, and it tells you, it says.
But Eddie's not on a subscription. That the problem with the gyms is you're reminding yourself, you're right, I haven't been in 3 months. Why am I still paying for that? Yeah.
But you see, certain franchises, that's what I'm saying, is certain franchises, like Planet Fitness, in my opinion, gets it for fitness. They get it. Let's have a gym, call it judgment free. This is if you want to open a Planet Fitness, these are the tips. I'm giving them to you. Skinny people on the billboards, attractive people. Pizza parties in the gym. Do not remind people to come work out. That's not what they're doing. They just want to pretend like they want to work out. That's the key. You're selling the ability for them to work out, not the accountability to work out. That's a Planet Fitness. Now, back to the pizza place. Text people. They're hungry all the time. So what are some of the systems that work at Domino's where you've maybe seen franchisees push back on, but they work? Like systems where you go, this works, man, but people push back.
Man, I have the biggest one for you. So back in 2005, Domino's decided that they wanted to roll out a one system for all stores. And there was a huge pushback from the franchisees. But it is why our stock's at, what, 362 today or something like that now.
Like a software system or like an operating system?
It's a POS system.
Gotcha.
So we're all uniformed across the board. And now we have so many systems in place because of that. I can check right now. I can pull out my phone right now and show you to the minute what my sales are, what my food cost is, what my labor cost is. I can look at if you just place an order, I can actually go click on that order and see where it is in the store. I can tell if it's left yet or hasn't left yet. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
That's cool.
So that was one of the biggest things. There's hundreds of systems that they put in place. But that's the biggest one where there was some pushback, and then now it's been amazing.
So have you seen that lead to increased revenue?
Oh, for sure. Our online ordering system came out of that.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Patrick Doyle, our ex-CEO, he came out and said, we are a tech company that sells pizza.
There we go.
We would not have been able to do that without this POS system.
Now, what I see, and again, I just want to get into the nitty-gritty because this is so important. When you buy at Domino's, you have checklists for everything. Yep. You have a suggested org chart. You have an operations manual. You have a franchise disclosure document that discloses all these details. And some people hate the checklists because that would require them to be in a cage. And some people love it because they go, with all the checklists, that represents freedom. I think that you believe that the systems and checklists create freedom. Maybe you don't. But some people, they hate. I see people that buy a franchise, not necessarily a Domino's, but they'll buy a franchise, and they hate the checklist. They hate the lack of creativity. They're like, why can't I change my logo? Can you what is your mindset with all the systems?
I mean, look what I brought with me today. A checklist. So, I mean, I live off them. It's what I do every single day. I love that fact about Domino's. They're really good about it. I mean, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So let's use what works already. It's already been proven.
Yep.
And Domino's is good at that. So I love all that stuff.
When did you feel like you first started to gain traction as a Domino's owner? When did you feel like, you know what, I actually am going to rock and roll? Or did you ever even have any doubt at all?
So there's I have two answers to that. The first time was in 2006. We had 4 stores, and we grew from 4 stores to 21 stores in 18 months. So I kind of felt like, I made it. And then 2008 happened, and I didn't make it, and we kind of got crushed. So I had to reorganize and downsize. So I would say probably the second time was more recent, within the last 6 years.
Yeah.
We really started growing. Started pursuing commercial real estate on the side of Domino's. And so
you mean a simple-minded person that makes their millions one pizza at a time can buy commercial real estate too?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We had 3 properties in 2016, and now we have 15.
I was. Do you like to read or no? Are you a reader guy?
So I'm not. I listen. So
well,
not a huge
just the thing that you would like. Behind you on the wall, there's a picture right there of Henry Ford chopping wood, and the guy looking at him chopping wood is Thomas Edison. And over here is another picture of Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, William Wrigley, John D. Rockefeller. They're all hanging out. So you got Roy Firestone, you got Henry Ford, you got Carnegie, and they're all in the same place chopping wood. And some people say, well, this was the criticism on Henry Ford, is they said, this guy is a mental numbskull. Henry Ford, this guy. All he does is makes black vehicles. He's a simpleton. And the criticism on Eazy-E, Thomas Edison, was that this guy's just like a simple dude. The most prolific inventor of all time. They're like, this guy is myopically focused. And I think a lot of times franchisees, and I work a lot in the franchisee space, you guys get labeled as being morons. I see it all the time by people who are the creatives. I see a lot of college campuses railing against these business professors, railing against the lack of creativity. I think this like all they do is sell pizzas. So let's talk about the U 2.0. Yes, you're making a lot of money selling pizzas. Commercial real estate. What was your first buy, your first property where you bought it and said, that was a win for America? The first one where you said, good job.
So I actually bought 2 locations when we grew to that 21 stores, so they kind of came with the purchase. Yeah. But my really first, let's buy this property and build it up was this property at 71st and Memorial.
Got it.
Pretty big purchase, $785,000 property that we spent about $300,000 on redoing. And so to be at 71st and Memorial in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with a Domino's, which by the way is right next to Pizza Hut, we did that on purpose. Was
opened
pretty awesome.
up right next to Pizza Hut?
Same parking lot.
I'm looking at the screen here because Kendall's going to get this on video here, and you might you'll see on the big screen here. Is this the right corner? Am I looking at the right corner? Which corner do I need to turn to? I want to make sure the folks on YouTube can see it.
It is on the southeast corner.
Southeast. So I'm going to go south. Right here? Yep. Okay, going this way.
So scroll down a little bit.
Go into incoming traffic. Is this it right here?
Yep, keep going. Yep.
There's a Pizza Hut right here. Okay. Yep. You weren't lying. There's a Pizza Hut. Okay, there we go. You're sick. Yeah. You opened up a Domino's next to a Pizza Hut?
And then we put on that little sign there, we're going to huff and puff and blow the hut down. Remember that?
Are you aware? Were you aware that you did this? Was it an accident?
Oh, for sure. We were well aware.
Why would you do this?
To crush them.
I just think this is so big.
A man after Clay's own heart.
No, I love this. So now, how do you make money off of commercial real estate? What is your? Somebody out there is listening and they're kind of newer to this. We have a lot of doctors and dentists that don't own their building. How are you making money with this?
It's really simple. Take what you're paying in rent and now pay it to yourself. Really simple.
And again, there's somebody who's been watching TED Talks for 4 years in a row, reading every business book that I have in the man cave, running around gazing at their navel going, I'm just trying to figure out a great business model. Sell freaking pizza. Clean freaking carpets.
So do you have any tenants in any of your other commercial properties?
Yeah, for sure. So in the last 2 years, we started building properties that had other tenants. So we have a 5,000 square foot in Bartlesville that has a nail salon. Our 14,000 square foot strip center in Edmond has an ice cream shop, a nail salon. We have another restaurant going in.
And a Domino's.
It always has a Domino's in it.
Okay, so that they're always got a Domino's and then some other love to go around.
The thing about commercial real estate that we figured out is if you're 50% leased out, you're breaking even. So anything above that 50%, now you're making money.
Gravy.
So if you have a building that has 2 spots in it, one of them Domino's, you're already breaking even. I'm
trying to communicate, and I don't think I'm doing a good job. And Josh Wilson has a hard out here in 6 minutes, so we're going to go fast. Is I feel like somebody out there is trying to overcomplicate the path to success. Andrew, I think I have a boom book over there by the printer, but it's not a complicated thing. Step 1, figure out how many customers do I need to have to achieve my financial goals. So if you make $3 per pizza, how many pizzas do you need to sell? That's your goals right there. Box number 1, okay? Box number 2, you got how many hours a week are you willing to work? I got to ask you, Eddie, how many hours a week are you willing to work?
Unlimited.
Okay. Box 3. Now, again, you just heard that, unlimited. Some people are willing to, some people aren't. But don't Say you want to be an NFL linebacker and be unwilling to put in the work. Box 3, what makes you different? Domino's has already thought about that. How often do you sit there and think about how can we differentiate our pizza?
Never.
Interesting.
They do it for us.
Brand, you never think about the pizza?
No.
See, this is what
I just eat it.
People ask me all the time with Elephant in the Room, the haircut chain, do you spend your time thinking about new haircuts? No. Okay. Branding. You got to make your branding great, but Domino's does it for you. And don't you love it when people buy a Domino's and don't execute the systems? Don't you kind of see blood in the water and you're going, I'm going to buy you. Don't you like it?
And we had a lot of that in the middle 2000s.
You love this.
Yeah, I loved it.
You love it.
Hard to find those guys now. We've got some good operators. So.
Okay. And then the three-legged marketing stool, you got to have a way you acquire customers. How does Domino's acquire customers? What do you do?
Oh, they're TV marketing, Facebook marketing, digital, and then the best way is provide great operations.
And don't you kind of, at a certain point as a franchisee, you can kind of go, they do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to think it. So Josh, with Living Water, we've kind of, in a way, helped you to kind of franchise your business.
Oh, absolutely.
We're in the process of steamrolling. I think we can talk about it in a few different cities.
Yes, sir.
Which ones are you for sure going to in the next 12 months, maybe?
For sure, 1,000,000,000% Edmond, Oklahoma, and Bentonville, Arkansas.
Okay, when you go out to the new markets, do you have to make a new system to market?
No, sir.
Interesting.
I got a space for you in Edmond if you need one.
Oh, networking here.
I love it.
So talk to the listener there who's looking at the camera, listening in right now, who just wants to change the logo and the print piece and the branding every day as a way to fill their soul and search for significance while they can't find profitability.
Sure. Philosophical thought is wonderful for people, but it's not really a really, really good thing to do if you want to make money. So you need to take action. You need to wake up every morning with a to-do list and a calendar. You need to go put in your hours. It's, we were talking about it earlier today, actually. Yep. It is a simple equation. How many hours you're willing to put in and whom you surround yourself with and the quality of service that you provide is going to dictate how much money you have. That's it. So it's not more complicated than that.
Now, what is your biggest limiting factor right now, Eddie Hall, as you think about your growth in the commercial real estate space and the Domino space and the exotic car collection space? What's your biggest limiting factor right now?
Limiting factor, on the Domino side, there really isn't anything. On the commercial side, it's finding those properties that fit into our portfolio. But
so you're looking at a lot.
I'm doing a lot right now, yeah. Okay. A lot going on.
And do you have a broker that helps pitch you deals, or do you just look yourself?
No, we have a broker that helps us with the real estate.
Do you like your broker?
I love her.
Okay, great. If you didn't, I would have a backup plan referral for you. Okay, great. So you like your broker. Can we recommend your broker? Can we do that on the air?
Sure,
okay?
It's Amanda Dooner.
Amanda Dooner?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure you get asked all the time if people can pick your brain. So I'm going to give you the floor a little bit. What are some principles or things you would love to share with our listeners out there, most of which are self-employed and or want to be, that you would say, hey, here's some things I've learned. Learn these things.
So when somebody asks me that, I usually just go to my core values that we use in our company, which is Team Next Level, which is customers first, 100% integrity, which is a big thing for me, positive training, and the will to work, great work ethic. So those are the kind of things that I kind of preach to everybody when they ask me, what are some things I should focus on?
We go through those, kind of unpack those one by one real quick here?
Sure.
Okay, let's go with the first one. What's the first core one?
Customers first.
What does that mean?
Oh, to us, they are why we're here. So they pay our paychecks. They're the ones that provide the money. We need to make sure they're 100% satisfied all the time.
Second value was what?
100% integrity.
100% integrity. Now, the word integrity means, from the word integer, it means undivisible, a whole number. What does that mean to you?
For me, it just means I want people to do what they say they're going to do. I want them to...
That's never going to happen. No, seriously, if you do that, you stand out.
I want them to do it right. I don't want them to cheat to do it.
Yeah.
And great things come out of that. So.
And you said there's one more principle. I think you said one more thing.
I said positive training.
Positive training. What does that mean?
We like to create an atmosphere in the company that allows people to grow.
True.
So
you're never done training over there.
Never done training. Never trying to get people to pursue their career.
Never done interviewing people.
Never done interviewing.
Never done recruiting.
No.
Never done training. But people want to get done. They go, now I've got a good team. Now I'm done recruiting. What would you say to somebody who says, now that I have a good team, I'm going to be done training? What would you say?
Nobody in my company says that ever.
Okay.
Because they know that we are always hiring. Always.
Now, Andrew Bloomer here, he's a 21-year-old guy. A little commercial for Andrew. He's been on our team for 3 years, going on probably 3.5 years. He's a married guy, 21 years old. He has his first rental property. He has his own house as well. He's a new member of the Six-Figure Club on the income level. He's doing great. He coaches clients down the path. He knows videography, photography, web development. What else do you audio editing? You mess with that?
Yeah.
What else do you do?
Photo, video, SEO, coaching clients.
He's kind of a mutant. So he's like where
Does everything.
we all look back and go, when I was 21, if I was there, I would be here. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's that guy. So Andrew is married to a wonderful lady. He's avoided the idiot phase of his life. Mm-hmm. Andrew, what question would you have, or questions would you have for Eddie on behalf of your clients, many of which are doing great, some of which need that little kick in the tail sometimes before they have that epiphany? What questions would you have for Eddie on behalf of maybe former clients or current clients that might be listening to today's show?
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like from what you were saying earlier with your sales and those numbers, it sounds like you really know your numbers for whether, for all the shops, for all the stores, for probably each individual location. So I'm curious, how important for you is it to look at those numbers, to know the numbers, and how often are you looking at those?
So I am looking at those numbers all day long, and every morning and every week. So like I said, it's at the tip of my fingers with my phone, so we can look at that stuff. We're meeting about them. I talk to my director of operations probably 4 times a day because we're also really close. But every Monday we meet, me and the director of operations supervisor, and we go through the previous weeks and where we're at for the period, where we're at for the quarter. We go through all those numbers, sales numbers, food variances, labor variances, service.
So good.
Yeah, Tiger Reports, which is our theft. It'll show us if somebody's stealing. Cash flow. I mean, cash shortage, cash flow.
People steal pizza?
Yeah.
Is this customers or employees?
Yeah. No, it's employees.
Okay.
Well, hey, Eddie, it's really good. Yeah. If I worked there, I might steal pizza.
But
that might be a thing.
But you look at the numbers every day?
All the time.
Every day. And the key numbers that you would say to all the listeners they need to know would be what?
Yeah, so my key numbers that I look, the first thing when I wake up in the morning and I pull up my phone, I'm looking at sales. Food variance, labor variance.
What does food variance mean to you?
So food variance is our food costs and what they should have put. So if a large pepperoni is supposed to get 40 pepperonis and they put 50 on there, they wasted food.
Got it. So food variance.
It's money out of the bank.
Okay, and what was the next variance you looked at?
Labor variance.
Got it.
So same thing. We have a labor scheduler that tells us exactly how many people.
Overstaffed, understaffed.
Yep, overstaffed, understaffed. And then we check service.
Got it.
And so those are the 4 things that I check first thing in the morning every day.
Do you do net promoter scores at Domino's where you survey clients to see if they're happy?
Yep. So we have a report called the CSAT report. It's our customer service analytics tracking system.
I love this. I could talk about this all night.
I got to show it to you. It's amazing. But yeah, it tells us everything. Net promoters. It tells us, customer care. Ranks us.
This is interesting. After all of our conferences, we call everybody who attends and asks them their feedback. How was it? What could that kind of thing. Why do people who have a business that's not doing well never want to know customer feedback? Why is that a universal trait? When people are not doing well, you would think they'd want to know how to get better. But I see it a lot in the personal training industry for fitness, where they're like, all of our clients cancel, and you go, well, because they don't like you. Steve, I'm sure you've seen this with personal trainers.
Yeah. And
I'm like, we should survey them. No, I don't want to. Why? Because they're wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's why our first core value is customers first. So you got to know what customers think about you and what their feedback is so you can get better. Andrew,
you've got a man who really doesn't do a lot of interviews here to do an interview. So what other questions would you have on behalf of your clients who might want to ask Eddie a question? Because he's a guru. I mean, a $20 million pizza business, making millions one pizza at a time. What's another question you might have for Mr. Eddie?
Yeah, so you mentioned systems and checklists and recipes, and those are all things that Domino's has created for you, right? So those are things that they've already set up. You're not running around trying to create recipes for how to make a pizza, for how to, So what would you say to somebody who has decided to not go the franchise route, but to rather go, the traditional, go start a business, who doesn't want to take the time to create the systems because I know it, they know it by memory. What would you say to that person who's not willing to take out the time to actually create the recipes and the systems and all those checklists?
I mean, the first thing that I would say is that I think that they're going to fail. They have to take the time to put those systems into place and figure out how they're going to run their business. Yeah. So,
would you say, like, excuse me, Mr. Idiot? Yes, you're going to fail because you're an idiot. That's what you would say. That's what I would say. I would say, excuse me, Mr. Idiot. Yeah. Yes, you're going to fail.
Now, you two guys are a member of this car club. What do you call this thing, Steve, your car club?
Well, it's the Lambros now, but, I mean, we started out as, like, the Tulsa DDE, which is a channel
Before
that we
leave, I want to make sure Ken will go out there and film some cars a little bit and show some, because this is one thing that's cool about your car club.
There are no cars. We don't bring cars to your driveway, bro. Come on.
Oh, my driveway. So you're in the Lexus?
Yep.
Okay, so you really are you went down all the way to the Lexus.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's that kind of day.
But you guys have a car club, and we can learn more about it by going to Lambros, the YouTube channel.
LambrosSteve.com.
LambrosSteve.com. Lambros, plural?
Just LambrosSteve.com.
LambrosSteve.com. So we go there to LambrosSteve.com.
Or LambrosTeve.com.
That's easier for me to remember. Okay. But you guys all have these nice cars. There's Lamborghinis in there. There's Porsches. I'm not into vehicles.
McLarens.
And the one thing I would highly recommend for anybody out there who could join your club or be a part of it is you're going to be around people that all worked hard to buy said cars. And the vast majority of people in your group started with nothing.
Yeah.
And according to the Millionaire Next Door, which is a great book, 88% of America's millionaires today are first generation. Now, there's a new book that just came out by Chris Hogan, who's an African-American self-help guru. Phenomenal book. The data that he shows is even higher now. He's shown it's like 90% of people who are millionaires came from nothing.
Yeah.
But there's somebody out there who loves Bernie Sanders. Oh, they love Bernie. And, Bernie's, Bernie's, he's figured it out. He's figured out how to be a kind of a pro-communist, but still be a capitalist. He makes millions of dollars by preaching against capitalism. And so we've created there's a certain culture right now that feels like the world's owed him something. Mm-hmm. What would you say, Eddie, for somebody who says the world owes him something? You worked for 7 years at a Domino's, delayed gratification. You've worked really hard to get where you are. And I'm sure you've pulled into a gas station in your luxury car, and I'm sure you've heard a comment from a person who's propelling poverty out of their mouth.
Daddy's money.
And That's what they say. Must be nice.
Daddy's money.
You've heard that, right?
Nice.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Must be nice. Yeah, while they're smoking their pot, they're sitting there smoking their pot.
They're starving kids in Africa, and you're wasting money on that car.
What would you say to that person if we could sit down one-on-one? They're on the other end of the camera. You could look right at them, and they're going, "You're entitled. I deserve." They want to raise your taxes because they need more free stuff. What would you tell them? What would be your tip?
I mean, usually my response to those guys when, they're saying, "Oh, daddy's money," I really just get into my story with them, and I tell them, I did all this with hard work. So I didn't have a handout. You don't need a handout. You just need to get out there and do what you need to do. You need to go do the work.
You actually have that conversation with them?
Oh, I have it all the time.
Does it go well?
It never goes well. No, because I usually end up.
Never goes.
Yeah,
well.
I usually end up telling them they're.
Yeah, I know.
Pieces of.
Yeah. But what happens is this is interesting. I don't drive a luxury car, but my office is nice, and I see people all the time that come to the office and they'll do this, Steve. It's the employees of the clients, not the client. The clients are always curious. Clients are always going, I wonder how he did that. Even the successful ones who are already successful. I wonder how he did that. And they're curious about how to do it.
Right.
The employees who work for the clients, by and large, not always, but most of the time, say stuff like, kind of smirking. Yeah. Must be nice.
Must be nice.
And then I'll say, what do you mean? They'll say, well, just must be nice working in an environment like this, work environment. And I'll say, I did get to work today at 3 a.m. Today, most days 4, let's just say on average 4. What time do you go to work? And they go, oh, well, 8, but I have carpal tunnel, I'm going through a thing. Okay. And then I usually leave work at 5, then I do that, 6 days a week usually. And on the weekends, if the kids have cheerleading, it's 6 days a week. If they don't have cheerleading, it's 5. But I would say conservatively from 3 a.m. to 6 every day, book it. That's 12 hours plus 3, so it's 15 hours a day. 6 days a week plus Saturdays. I usually sneak in about 15 hours a week on the weekends. That's how I lucked into it. How many hours a week are you working? And we discovered even if we were just having a foot race and we were the exact same speed, I would be twice as far ahead because of the hours I put into it, you know?
Right.
And they go, well, you hate your family? I said, no, you missed out.
But what about work-life balance?
I get home at 6, but I don't watch TV. Now, New York Post and New York Times report the average person watches TV now 5.2 hours per day. The average person is on social media 11.3 hours per day, according to Nielsen. That's a full-time job, bro.
It's your fault.
So I point to him, I'm not working more than you. You're just working on stuff that doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
Do you see this phenomenon there? I mean, do you see?
So we were at a car show one time, and these two guys, probably 20 years old, walked up to us, and he's like, "Oh man, that car's sweet, man. I have to get me one of those one day." And the guy goes, "Oh man, you're gonna have to work like 40 hours a week to get that." And I was blown away. Freddie was there, and Freddie goes, "Bro, better double that."
Yeah,
like
exactly.
80 hours a week. Yeah.
There's a book that I love so much called, I believe, 8 Seconds. I read it back in the day. It's about the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And the story is Steve Nash is a point guard at the time. And he's in the locker room with all these NBA players. And the book is great. Steve, you would love the audiobook if they have it. But there's a reporter who gets to spend a whole year with the Phoenix Suns. And this is when they're at the peak, okay? So he's writing down all the notes. And the players, they get fined if they're late. And so one particular player, who I won't mention his name, and Kendall, do not show the video footage of this. Do not show the video footage of this. But I'll show it to you guys because it'll blow your mind. This particular guy gets sold on the idea that if you take a champagne bath, then you will be able to extend your playing career somehow. Here he is.
What?
Yeah. No. And there he is. And then the bottles he's pouring in are like $300 a bottle. And he's in there, and this guy's making, 17 to 20 million bucks a year at the time. And so one of the players, Steve Nash, pulls him aside and says, "Hey, dude, you got to watch your money because there's not a lot of careers where you can make this much. And after taxes, bro, you only keep half maybe, because you're in Phoenix and the taxes federal and state. And you got income tax, property tax. You after all those taxes, you maybe are keeping 40% after all the taxes. So you got to lay off the champagne bath, And he says, "All right, man, okay, that's cool." Well, this guy's a 19, 20-year-old guy. And then Steve says, "You got to stop being late because you're getting fined like $5,000 a day for being late." And he goes, "Shoot, man. I used to take my mom, man. My mom's. It took her like a whole week to make that much, man." And Steve's like,
whole week.
"Do you understand that you grew up on food stamps? Your mom didn't earn $5,000 in a week or in 2 months, let alone 3 months. Do you understand? And there's no concept of the value of money." So the book progresses. It's really funny because he says, "Man, Steve, man, I've been investing. I've been doing what you're saying, and I've been investing now in assets." So he said, "What'd you get?" He goes out and sees, and it's all these super luxury cars that are brand new. And so you guys, when you buy your cars, you're buying them because they're fun. But you understand the difference between an asset and a liability.
Right.
So I want to make sure we're getting this because some people go, "Oh, that's how he made his money." You see, the Eddie, the Domino's guy, he makes all of his money with his cars. So when you buy a Porsche or something, what does a Porsche cost?
Oh, I mean, they range. The GT3 RS
anywhere
is
from
around 200.
Anywhere from 19,000 to
19,000 to 20,000.
How much is a Porsche?
Hey, you know what Porsche stands for? Just to be clear, and then I'll let him talk. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm poor.
Poor-ish. Poor-ish.
What does a Porsche stand for?
Poor-ish. So the GT3 RS I have new would be $200K.
$200,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So you buy that car, and that doesn't make you money. It's a liability. So in the asset column, it's a liability. Now, when you're doing the financial network statement, you could take the asset minus the debt on it, whatever. But the point is, it doesn't make you money. So it's a liability. If we oversimplify it. Right. But then an asset is like the commercial real estate. Can you explain for someone who's kind of new to entrepreneurship listening the difference between a commercial property and a Domino's, and an asset and a liability?
Yes. So the commercial property appreciates.
Got it.
So it's simple. You'll continue to make money off of that. We keep anywhere from 20 to 50% in equity in our commercial properties.
Got it.
I mean, you have access to that money if you need it. So I mean, it's an asset.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing about commercial property is when you have tenants, they're really paying for everything. And
then after servicing the debt, You said once it's more than half full, and you're making cash.
Making money. Yep.
And you're making pretty decent money.
Pretty good money.
You're signing people into 3-year leases, 5-year agreements.
We do 7-year leases.
7-year leases.
Yeah.
So what I want to do now is I have 3 final questions for you, and then Andrew, you can ask one final one here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Daily habits. What do you do on a daily basis? Like, what time are you waking up every day? What do the first 4 hours look like?
Yeah. So Domino's. 28 years in this career now. We stay up pretty late. So we open early and we're open late. I mean, I have a store that closes at 3 a.m. So my habits are a little different than people that do the 9 to 5.
But that's the Domino's workflow.
Yeah. So I'm usually up till midnight or so.
Yep.
And then I'm usually up by 6.
Got it.
Usually go to the gym.
Yep.
And then after that, I'm checking my checklist, my calendar for the day. Usually around 9 o'clock, I'm on my morning call with my director of operations.
You've got a checklist.
Yeah.
Every day you have that. You have a calendar every day?
2 calendars.
You have a to-do list?
Yeah, to-do list. Yep.
Every day.
And and I'm kind of old school. I use the pad for.
Can you look at that pad? Look at that pad. Now, what would happen if you didn't have your to-do list or calendar? Would you know what was going on?
No.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. And this is like it's so important for someone listening out there. That's the cornerstone of success. If you don't have a to-do list, you can't win. I don't care how smart you are. If you don't have a to-do list and a calendar, and people fight back about this all the time, just get it. Get a to-do list, get a calendar. And he said he's kind of old school. I'll tell you this little secret. I've spent days, an entire day, with the founder of Hobby Lobby, billionaires, millionaires, many, many times. This is what I do. I kind of view myself as Napoleon Hill Part 2. I just run around interviewing super successful people to see what they do. A lot of clipboards. Even the young bucks have clipboards. Not a lot of phone to-do list apps. I'll tell you why. Yeah. You turn on that phone, you got a distraction coming in. According to Psychology Today, the average person is interrupted over 90 times per day, homies. So get off that phone, get on that to-do list. Next question for you. Proactive guy. I would assume that you have plans for the future, and I'm not asking you to share your plans for the future, but do you have some certain goals that you're working towards in your mind, or are you kind of done with the goal thing right now, or what did you have some things you're pushing towards?
I'll always have goals, so I always have them.
Always have
right now we have a lot of projects that we're working on. Yep. So my goal, my short-term goals are to get those projects done. I mean, we have 2 strip centers we're doing right now. We have 3 more Domino's we're opening.
That's awesome.
So those are short-term. Long-term goals are within the next 5 years, I'd like to have the commercial property business big enough to where if I wanted to sell the Domino's, I could.
Have you sold some Domino's in the past?
I have, yes.
Okay, and when you sell them, can you do you get a multiple of the profits? Like let's say a store made $100,000 this year, can you usually get 3x or 4x or 5x? Well, how much can you get for a Domino's if you sell it?
So they range depending on sales and cash flow, of course. They're ranging anywhere from 4 to 6 times cash flow.
4 to 6 times the cash flow, and I'll tell you why. Because the systems are good. And if you're out there building a small business without the systems, people know as soon as you sell it to them, it's not going to work. Build the systems. The most selfish thing you can do for your family and your financial freedom is build those systems. Final question I have here for you. Are you one of the larger Domino's owners in the country? Are you smaller? Are there guys bigger than you, have more Domino's? How do you fit into the scheme of Domino's operators out there?
So there's definitely, I believe the average is around 5 stores is the average.
Got it.
There's definitely some big guys out there. There's our very first franchisee that has 300 stores.
Super cool.
We have a couple guys with 100 stores, but I'm considered a big franchise at over 15.
It's awesome. I love this. This
is good stuff.
I love this. This is just I'm telling you, if you're listening right now, you're overcomplicating it 90% of the time. You're trying to make a business system. You're trying to sell something that the world doesn't want. You're trying to run around selling something the world doesn't want, and nothing could be more discouraging than you hand painting ducks and then going to the state fair and setting them out. This isn't funny. This is sad for somebody. And you set these out, and no one buys them. And you're living a life of poverty. Just sell something the world wants. Find a problem and solve it. Find a need the world has and fill it. Andrew, we have time for one more question from the young buck. What question do you have, sir?
Yes. So let's say someone's looking to buy a franchise. So what things should they look for? Is it even possible for someone to get in? I know you mentioned that you said 95% of the Domino's franchise owners were at one point a delivery driver. So is it possible for someone to get in to the franchise world of Domino's, or what's a good fit for Domino's?
So one awesome thing about Domino's is they've kept it internal like that, so you know that you're getting a great operator that's hopefully you're getting a great operator when they come next to you.
Got it.
But you can get into the system. You have to come and work in a store, though. So there is a 6-month to 1-year training program. So you can't just come in with millions of dollars and say, let me buy all these stores.
Super smart.
You have,
really good.
Yep. You have to go through the training and, go through those steps to get approved.
Chick-fil-A is the same way.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A is the same way. Outback Steakhouse the same way. A lot of the great brands that stay strong do that. I'm going to give you the mic before we drop the mic. What's your final hot take or your word of encouragement? We've got about 500,000 people that choose to listen to this show. This month we've got the founder of Netflix on the show. We got the founder of Square. A lot of great people. But I personally am most interested right now in what you have to say, because you're doing it. You've done it. And you decided to take time out of your schedule. You're not a coach or a consultant who gets paid to do this. There's not a win for you other than just sharing what you've learned. Well, what is a tip or advice you want to give to the listeners?
Plus, I don't think I have a very good radio voice. But
it's a great. It's
pretty good.
Beautiful.
I would say that my best advice is what's worked for me, which is hard work really does pay off. And so if you get out there and push yourself, to be number one, to be the best, it will work out for you. And then also, success, it's not an elevator, it's a staircase. So you got to be able to take the ups and downs and really focus. And that's what I would, tell everybody out there.
So you got some ups and downs.
It's hard. It's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's not
easy.
It's
not just a push of a button.
It's hard. It's like taking the stairs. It's not like taking the elevator up to the top.
Yeah.
Okay. That's powerful.
That's good stuff.
Is there a certain website people can learn more about you? Do you have like a YouTube channel where you're hanging out with Steve? Is there any way people can learn more about you?
I
go to Domino's in Tulsa.
I post car stuff on Fat and Skinny Bros Instagram. So Fat and Skinny Bros is
Fat and Skinny Bros on Instagram.
Yeah, that's my car thing. Has nothing to do with Domino's or business, but it's just a car deal. So don't have anything else really out there. So.
Eddie Hall, I greatly appreciate you so much. And if you're out there today, go eat Domino's in moderation. But go eat Domino's. Not too much at one time.
No, order a lot.
Order a lot from Eddie, but then don't eat it so you stay thin, but you're helping support him. That's what we're going to do. Order a ton. Don't eat very much. If you live in Tulsa, buy Domino's every single day. Throw it away so you stay thin, but his wallet stay fat. Without any further ado, here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Stop what you're doing and think about this for a second. What would happen if your company was suddenly able to generate exponentially more quality sales leads? That would be incredible. What would happen if your company came up at the top or near the top of the Google search engine results? Well, I would just feel overwhelmed with all that business. How many thousands of dollars in lost sales or millions of dollars in lost sales are you missing out on simply because your potential customers can't find you when they go online to search for the products and services that you offer? I refuse to think that thought because I don't want any more business. Unless you are a dirty communist that hates money, my new book, Search Engine Domination, will help you grow your business. In my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate the search engine results. What do you mean by dominate? You see, in my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate search engine results. Download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com. I repeat, that's thebestseobook.com.
My name is Amy Baltimore, and I am a CPA in Covington, Tennessee. I've been working with the Thrive team now for about a year. One of the first things that they did was to update my website and my search engine optimization. I prior had a website, but I was not being found on Google, and all of my new business was coming through referrals from friends, family, etc. And right away, I started to see results. People were calling and coming in saying that they found me on Google. They just Googled CPA near me, and there I was at the top of the page. And so It's been a great help to my business.
Again, you can download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com.
Hey, this is Dustin Huff. I'm with Keystone Harbor Marina. We joined Thrive back in January and have been working with these guys for about 7 months. During that time period, we have moved up our Google rank through reviews and SEO processes that we've compiled through these guys. Our leads have gone from about 4 a week to now 165 a week. So the process works. I will tell you from experience, once you begin, you have to stay with it. As long as you continually do this week in and week out, month in and month out, you'll continually grow.
The system works, but nothing works unless you do. You've got to take some action. Download the ebook for free today at thebestseobook.com.
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July and we've had the best month ever. And it took us about 8 to 10 months to get on top of Google, and I'm glad we did.
Remember, nothing works unless you do. You have to go to thebestseobook.com today. Download the ebook for free. Just download that ebook for free, and you'll be off to the races.
Hi, my name is Christina Nemus. I'm the owner and operator of Angel's Touch Auto Body and Detailing in Bourne, Massachusetts. We have been working with Thrive and their coaching for, say, 8 to 9 months, and it took us about 6 months, 5 to 6 months to get on the top of Google, and with their help with the website and marketing, and the SEO and retargeting ads with Google, and it has been phenomenal. We just have light and day business coming in, phone calls coming in, walk-ins, referrals. It's just through the roof, and we couldn't be happier. At the moment, we are up 50% this year from the previous year, and not only is that part of our own hard work and diligence, but also with the help of Thrive and what they've done for us and getting us on the top of Google and, you know, all their knowledge and coaching. And yeah, so super grateful, super pumped to see what the future holds for all of us. Thank you.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. I'm here to tell you, you can do it if you can just motivate yourself. 12 the masses had to cut off a few, so on the daily you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those who doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru, or the next Dr. King who's changing the rules? Walls are in your way, will you run right through? Like a running back, fourth the one, it's up to you. I remember my days back in the dorm room, tuned to the gloom like the temple of doom, overwhelmed with the doubts that try to consume my hope for the future that I could pursue. But from the mountaintop now I can conclude that you have what it takes if you want the view to.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time. It's your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
This moment is profound, cause you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how, but you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up, cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind as your time, don't dare let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up.
This is your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find.
Yes.
Today is your day,
Somebody say,
and now is your time.
it's your time.
It's your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
It's your time. We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we cannot begin without self-discipline. If you fall on your face, get yourself up again. Attach yourself to goals, not fail with the friends. When the storm's getting rough and it's scatter and leave, you only be there with yourself and what you believe. We believe in you, but not as much as God does. If you're going through hell, He's got nothing but love. Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time time you have money to burn.
Apply what you've learned, increase what you've earned, and in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you've learned, increase what you've earned, in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you've learned,
Sing it.
increase what you've earned,
Yes.
in due time you got money to
With
to
this typical
burn.
miracle, I look to shout down the doubters, kill the weeds that be killing your dream flowers, empower you to devour all the obstacles that make your sweet dreams sour. As for me, I used to stutter, but now I'm on the microphone smooth like butter. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.
Today is your day.
Today's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
This is your year to thrive.
Sing it, sing it.
Success you will find. Today is your day.
It's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
Today is your day.
Come on.
And now is your time.
Sing it, Martin.
Today is your day. Now is your time.
I realize I can't sing like that, but I can talk and play the woodblock. Okay. If you guys need me, I'll just be over here.